Hi, I'm Jeremy Crosby.
And I'm Nick Boucher. We're the hosts for the program that's all about your city, Talking Fitchburg.
Every day, we pull together the news, events, and information you need to stay on top of what's happening in the city of Fitchburg.
Find Talking Fitchburg on cable TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and our live stream on the web. Plus, you can view all our headlines and stories on Facebook, YouTube, and our video on demand service. This is your city.
Keep up with Talking Fitchburg and the issues that affect you and your neighbors.
Want to know what's happening in your city? Get Notify Me messages from the City of Fitchburg. Visit fitchburgwi.gov on your computer or mobile device and select the big Notify Me button on the left. Enter your email and/or phone number, whichever is best for you to get notifications. Scroll down the list and select all the topics you're interested in to receive email or text messages about. You'll be notified every time one of your topics is updated. Sign up for Notify Me, one more way to keep up with your Fitchburg government.
Of the Finance Committee meeting on September 24th, 2024 at 6 p.m. First item of business is the approval of minutes. I need a motion on the draft minutes of the September 10th, 2024 Finance meeting.
I move approval.
Moved by Alder Jetzer. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor of the minutes, approval of the minutes, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Moving on to item 3, public appearances for non-agenda items. No one in chambers and no one online. So we can go ahead and move on to item 4, Finance Director Report. Misty?
Thank you. So first I'll start with the August Treasurer's Report that is included in the packet. A couple items to note. We did have one CD mature, a local CD from one community bank that we reinvested back in the same bank. And then there were 8 CDs purchased through WISC to kind of put that money to work with this continued high rate environment. And those are varying maturity dates, so it'll kind of ladder out. So we'll pause if there's any questions.
Seeing none, go ahead.
Excellent. 2 other things to mention. So one is there's that annual meeting of Fitrona EMS. It's usually the 3rd Thursday, and on the budget schedule it's listed as such, but the commission moved those up to the 2nd Thursday. So if you could please mark your calendar for October 10th instead, that would be helpful.
What time?
There you go.
So that sounds like October 10th, 7 p.m.
Thank you. And then speaking of budget, so the mayor's proposed 2025 budget was released last Friday. Hopefully you've had a chance to locate the document. We have 2 special finance committee meetings next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, where we will go through the requests on behalf of all of the department heads. Alder Gerhard, I hope you will suggest to the council tonight that they all attend that meeting or watch it at least 2, though it is technically a finance committee meeting, so quorum is only needed of the 3 of you.
Great.
From there, we have a public hearing at the next council meeting, and then council amendments are due using the form that I emailed all of you by 4:30 on October 10th. If you do have help that you want from staff or myself, we want to make sure we do that in advance of the deadline. It really should be in that final format by that deadline. Let me know how I can help. That's it.
What time are those finance meetings on October 1st and 2nd?
6 o'clock.
6 p.m. Mm-hmm. I will let the council know.
Thank you.
Anything for Misty? All right. Oh, go ahead, Bill.
Oh, one question. I noticed on the treasurer's report there's some significant activity in a couple of the TIDs, 9, 10, 12, and 13. Is there anything worth mentioning there, or is that just normal stuff going on?
Yeah, so in August is when we get our final tax settlement from Dane County, and that includes the last settlement of all of the TID increment that's gotten for the year. So there's an uptick in the revenue for each one of the TID funds.
All right, so I think we can move on to item 5, review of bills. 5A, detailed review of checks for $10,000 and above for September 1st to the 15th, 2024, totaling $164,890.79. Questions or comments from the committee? Moving on to 5B, detailed review of all checks issued, checks 127471 to 127533, from September 1st to the 15th, 2024, totaling $270,535.08. Comments or questions from the committee? Seeing none, moving on to 5C. Detailed review of P-card transactions for $10,000 and above for the cycle ending August 6th, 2024, totaling $99,366.80. Comments, question? Seeing none, moving on to 5D. Review of P-card transactions for the cycle ending August 6th, 2024, totaling $212,433.34. Questions, comments? All right, we can go ahead and move on to action items. First action item, 6A, Resolution R16024, requesting exemption from county library tax. Can I get a motion?
I'll move approval of Resolution R16024.
Motion to approve made by Alder Jetzer.
I'll take this one. So this is an annual resolution that we approve about this time each year. Ultimately, the purpose is to exempt our taxpayers from the library tax that the county would put on the bills if it wasn't for us exempting ourselves. Because we have our own library and we fund it and staff it and meet all of the other minimum standards, we're able to exempt ourselves from that duplicate tax.
And this is, I mean, what's the idea behind the tax is going to be there unless we specifically opt out? Like, is our library going to evaporate or something?
No, so if we don't opt out of this, then our property taxpayers would continue to pay the library tax on our budget, but then also pay the library tax from the county.
Right. What I'm saying is the county knows we have a library. Why did they make us jump through this hoop every year?
Unclear. So I can say we had to do this when I was in Waukesha County too, so perhaps it's a statute. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I can ask and find
wait,
out.
I think we might have an answer
You
approaching.
know? Excellent. Thank you.
Ah, fun.
So the reason is we have to fund the library at a minimum level, and as long as you hit that minimum funding threshold, that's how you can exempt yourself from the tax. If you're under that threshold, you're required then to basically have that tax. So that's the reason why, and the resolution, you're just opting out of it and recognizing that you're above that minimum amount.
Okay, so we do have to prove that we are funding it appropriately. It's not just, hey, we've got a library.
No,
Okay.
yep.
Yes, I believe you're well above the minimum threshold, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. There's a bunch of different categories by which we're evaluated. So.
Correct.
Great. I think we can go ahead and take it to a vote. All in favor of Resolution R16024, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Moving on to 6B, Resolution R16124, amending the 2024 general fund budget for police vehicle maintenance. I need a motion.
I'll move approval.
Motion to approve made by Alder Wheeler. We've got our captain here to give us an introduction.
Good evening. Similar to last year, we found ourselves in the same predicament. We've got some aging fleet vehicles that, due to market demands and production, have been very slow to replace those vehicles. So increased maintenance schedules have drained the repair and maintenance budget. However, we've got an excess of funds still in our gas account due to a couple of factors, primarily staffing shortage. We have less officers driving those vehicles for that gas, and the overall gas prices decreasing. So we'd like to take $15,000 from that account, move it to the repair and maintenance budget to get us through the rest of the year.
Great. Too bad we can't get those cars up and running, but I guess that's just the world that we live in now.
We try our best.
Yeah. Comments, questions from the committee? Sounds pretty straightforward. All in favor of Resolution R16124, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you. Next item, 6C, Resolution R16224, approving an agreement with Revelation LLC for communications and community engagement services, and this is a direct referral.
I move approval.
Motion to approve made by Alder Wheeler. And who's going to take this? Adam?
Thank you. So this is an agreement with Revelation Consulting. Revelation is actually a local consulting firm based in the Madison area. They would assist us with communications. It would be a three-phased approach. First phase would be conduct an audit and analysis of the existing communication practices. As part of that, they would interview the entire council one-on-one. and also the mayor. They'd also interview most department heads as well to help gain a better understanding of what we're currently doing for communications and just general feedback of what people's beliefs and philosophies are on that. Phase 2 would be the creation of a communication strategy and have recommendations in that as well. And phase 3 would provide ongoing communication services. So if an issue came up, we could reach out to them, we can bounce ideas off them. Phase 3 doesn't necessarily have to happen third. It could start immediately if we needed help, but they'll be available on an on-call basis to assist us in communication efforts, whether that be, like I said, giving feedback or actually assisting us in certain materials. I believe the contract is a not to exceed $50,000, and I believe this is a budget amendment. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, so the $50,000 was originally planned to be funded with ARPA money, but because of the timing constraints on it and that phase 3 of kind of the ongoing consulting services, there's some uncertainty there. So we included a budget amendment to take just that phase 3 and move it out of ARPA into the TID closure funding instead. And so then that does require a 2/3 vote once we get to council.
And that's just because of the spend down timing requirements for ARPA funding?
Exactly. We didn't think it was worth the risk to possibly not spend it.
Yes. Sounds like a good call. Comments or questions from the committee? Yeah, we certainly have challenges with this, so I think it'll be exciting to see what they have to say. Yeah, so thanks for putting it together. We can go ahead and take it to a vote. All in favor of Resolution R-16224, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you so much, Adam. Next item, Resolution R-16424, approving change order number 2 for the 2024 street resurfacing project.
I'll move approval of Resolution R-16424.
Motion to approve made by Alder Jetzer, and I kick it over to our Public Works Director, Tim.
Thank you. Fitchburg Road, Nesbitt Road, and Seminole Highway were included in the 2024 street maintenance project to be chip sealed. However, these 3 roads had a slurry seal applied to the surface several years ago. The slurry seal was delaminated and needed to be milled from the surface so the chip seal would properly adhere to the pavement. The quality and product of the milling and chip seal does not provide a smooth driving surface. A milled and overlaid road will improve rideability and provide a better long-term product on these roadways. The city approved an agreement with Payne and Dolan for the 2024 street resurfacing project through R64-24 on April 9th, 2024. The Payne and Dolan 2024 street resurfacing project purchase order has an available balance of $391,468.70 from quantity underruns, and also an available contingency to fund the additional milling and resurfacing on Fitchburg, Nesbitt, and Seminole Highway. We're looking for approval for change order number 2 to the 2024 street resurfacing project in the amount of $391,468.70.
Thanks, Tim. These are the roads that are super bumpy to drive on right now. Is that correct?
Yes,
okay.
Correct.
And then my recollection was that Osmondson also had a similar feel to it. Am I wrong?
Yeah, there's a small section on Osmondson that has the similar roughness. We're looking to have that addressed in next year's street resurfacing project, so we'd incorporate that section into the 2025 street resurfacing and then have that done as one of the first streets in spring for that project.
So the Osmondson Road will remain that uneven surface until next year?
Correct.
Okay. Bill?
Tim, is that going to cause any problems with snow plowing or anything like that, salt?
No, and we talked to Mark Hodel, our street supervisor, regarding that, and he didn't think it would pose any issues with snow removal or during the winter. He said he will watch that area particularly close during the winter to make sure that there's no standing water when the snow melts or ice melts.
Jim, anything from you? Sorry, I can't see you very clearly. And
No.
then, thank you. And then do we know what time when this might be done? Is this something that can happen very quickly, or is this going to be some more lead time before we can get this done?
Yeah, if approved tonight at council, we'd look to have the contractors start Monday, October 7th, so less than 2 weeks. And then they anticipated all 3 roadways would take about a week and a half. So you're looking about sometime the week of October 14th to have it complete.
Great. I know there's lots of us that will be excited to see that smoothed out. Anything else on the committee? Seeing none, we can take it to a vote. All in favor of Resolution R-16424, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Next item is 6E, Resolution R-16724, preliminary resolution declaring intent to exercise special assessment police powers under Wisconsin State Section 66.0703 and Fitchburg Code of Ordinances Section 10-215 for the cost of the sidewalk replacement in the city of Fitchburg. And this is a direct referral. Tim, will you be handing this one? Oh, thank you. Motion to approve by Alder Wheeler. And Tim, are you taking this one as well?
Yes. So this resolution informs that the city will assess for the 2024 sidewalk replacement project and that there will be an upcoming hearing. The upcoming hearing is anticipated for Monday, October 7th, 2024 at the Board of Public Works meeting.
And how are the residents that will be assessed, how are they notified about that public hearing?
They're notified by mailings.
Okay. And have they already been notified, or is that after this? Does that happen after this approval?
I believe it's happened. I don't know. I can check for you on that.
Yeah, just curious. Sorry, I interrupted you, Tim. What else were you going to say?
No, you're good.
Okay. Questions from the committee? Bill?
Tim, at the Public Works meeting, it was brought up that last year's resolution included some verbiage about houses on the corner where there's different rules for the division of payment between the long side and the short side. Are there just no houses like that, or do we still need to modify this resolution?
So there'll also be a resolution for the assessment report coming forward, so that there'll be a resolution for the draft of that report, and then also the approval of the award. So kind of the assessment verbiage would be along with the resolution for the report.
Okay.
Seeing no more questions, I think we can go ahead and take it to a vote. All in favor of Resolution R-16724, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Thanks so much, Tim. Next,
You're welcome.
Next item is 7, announcements. Our next meetings, plural, is October 1st and 2nd for the budget presentations. That's going to be at 6 p.m. and then our regular scheduled meeting on October 8th before council. Any other announcements? All right. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Moved by Alder Jetzer. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We are adjourned at 6:18 p.m. Thank you so much.